Hi beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ru. Now what we're doing today is we're going to tap into what do you need to know about this connection. My intention is for it to be more romantic, but it doesn't have to be. Just, you know, dissect the parts that are not romantic and, you know. Okay, so we have 3 piles for you to choose from. Pile 1 is this one. We're gonna read it in the reading, so yeah. Okay, pile 2 is this one. I hope it's focused. And pile 3 is this one. So whichever you are more drawn to, that will be your reading. Thank you so much for watching. So now this is for the people that are interested in the decks that I'll be using this this reading. So for oracles, I'll be using the Animal Spirit, the Star Codes Astro, the Wild Unknown Pocket Archetypes, Moonology, and for tarot I'll be using the Pulp Girls tarot deck. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi pile 1, if you chose this card that says soft hair and a velvet tongue, I want to give you what you give to me, and every breath that is in your lungs is a tiny little gift to me. The white stripes, dead leaves, and the dirty ground. I'll be completely honest, I don't know what that is. I feel like it might be a song. I'm not sure, so that song could be significant, or what this is could be significant. But yeah, okay. So the way we're gonna do this, the format is gonna be person A and person B, and then the energy between you two. But I am gonna shuffle on camera. I usually reshuffle before, like I pre-shuffle, but I've noticed that I do reading so much better when I'm shuffling and then reading at the same time. So you can always fast forward, but you know, just wanted to let you know. Okay, so let's get into person A. Person A's vibe. Okay, thank you. Person B's energy or vibe energy. Person B's vibe. Oh no, I don't want to get both. Person A's energy. Okay, thank you. But I'll keep that in mind. And then at the bottom we have a storm. Okay. Person A's energy. Thank you. Person B's energy. Thank you. At the bottom we have lamb. And then the energy between you two. Should I just get one card or two? Let me see. What's the energy between you two? The energy between person A and person B. Person A and person B. Thank you. 11th house, community. I think I do want to get another one. Can we get another one for the energy between person A and person B? Okay. At the bottom we have ascendant. Oh, okay. I didn't want to turn that over, but okay. Okay, can we see that? Yeah, we can. Okay. Let me move that over here. Okay. I kind of want to start with the energy between you two. So I feel like you two, I have a feeling that you two met each other. Maybe it could be online, especially with the 11th house. This looks like it looks like a robot's hand. It doesn't have to be, but it looks like very technology. So it makes me wonder, like, if you met online. But I do feel like this connection isn't as clearly as you can see it. Like, it seems like there's a lot under the surface, and it could be because, I mean, it could be a number of things, right? But I feel like this connection is very, like, surface level in a way that's, you two may not get as deep as you can with each other. I feel like there's more to indulge from each other. I feel like there's more to talk about, there's more to enjoy with each other, especially with the 11th house. I feel like you two connect very well, especially in the friendship level. I'm not again, my intention is for this to be romantic, but this could be a friend, or you two might see each other as friends for right now, or you two are creating a friendship first before creating something more. There is this energy of, like, just not seeing everything of this connection, and maybe, like, the unknown is very, like, scary in that way, like, or like the unknown is very prominent in this connection, because I feel like you two perceive each other a certain way, you two perceive this connection a certain way, but it's also like there's more to come, if that makes sense, or there's more to understand in this connection. And I feel like that's something that's very prominent here. Okay, I really want to get into, let's get into person B. So we have the hawk and we have the offering. Ooh, okay. Again, if you two are friends, I feel like that could be very significant. But I feel like there is this energy of, like, the hawk maybe, again, the offering, right? Offering something to person A, or maybe offering a chance to person A. I feel like this hawk person, I wouldn't be surprised if the hawk person is the one that initiated this connection, or initiated this more romance energy into this connection. Like, it could be that the hawk, like, maybe confessed how they felt, or confessed that they wanted something more here, or they want something more here. I wouldn't be surprised if the hawk is, like, very honest about their wants in this connection, and maybe they offered, like, commitment, or they offered something with longevity. I don't know, it seems like the hawk just offers something towards the deer. And it could be, like, because we do see deer here, it could be that maybe it did kind of scared person A, especially with the lamb here. I feel like at the bottom of the deck, the hawk person, like, maybe confessed their feelings, or offered, like, a commitment, offer longevity, offer something. And it could be that because the hawk is, like, flying this way, I feel like this hawk person could have been, it could be that person A rejected person B, or person B is just like, if you're not gonna do this with me, I'd rather just go. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the hawk person left the situation because the offering was not reciprocated. Because I feel like they did offer something towards person A, and I think they were, like, a little vulnerable with person A, and it could be that maybe person A didn't reciprocate, or maybe, and I feel like with this deer here, it could have been that person A didn't know how to reciprocate. I feel like the fear was a little bit more prominent than knowing what to do in the situation. But I feel like the hawk kind of flew away. You know, they're like, well, if you're not going to reciprocate, then I guess I'll just leave, you know? And this is why, going back to perception and 11th house, I feel like you two have a really nice connection. Again, you two might not be talking, but for a lot of you, you could. It doesn't really matter if you are or not. I feel like in this connection, it's very interesting because I feel like you two had or have a really good connection together, but I feel like there's more under the surface with the moon here. I feel like there's more, maybe more to come, but also there's more under the surface, and I think you two are not seeing that. I feel like there's more here, but you don't see that. And that's why I feel like this hawk person could have self-sabotaged the situation a little bit. Like maybe they offer something and then person A either blatantly just rejected it, or maybe didn't even know what to say, and maybe whatever they said the hawk didn't like it, so they left. I feel like I'm not trying to blame the hawk if this is you. Like, I'm not trying to blame you for this, what happened in the situation. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like the hawk didn't like the answer that they got, so they left, which is understandable. I feel like that's very human nature. I feel like it's very like, okay, well, we don't see eye to eye, let's just walk away from this. Let me walk away from this, you know, like person B. And it could have been that maybe person B could have given person A a chance to speak their mind or talk, but it seems like it was so, like, especially with the hawk here, it could be very fast moving, like out of nowhere, like, well, if we don't see eye to eye, I think it's better if I just go, you know. I felt like it was very like straightforward, and I feel like the hawk person could come off very straightforward with the person A. And maybe this is just a natural thing, like maybe they're just a very straightforward person, but also it could have been like they were very straightforward with person A of like, this is what I want, and if you can't give that to me, I'd rather just fly away, like I'd rather just leave, which is understandable, you know. But I feel like there's a part of the hawk that sort of self-sabotaged the situation of, like, maybe they could have given person A a chance to speak their mind, or maybe they could have let this simmer down a little bit and then come back to it. But it seems like this person was very quick with it, and I feel like they don't maybe they lack communication in that way, and they can't help it. But it seems like it made sense what they did, but also it could have been that they could have did it too fast and didn't give room to let this kind of simmer down and come back to it. I feel like if you are person B, or this person's person B, I would suggest kind of like, if you are feeling rejected, or if you're feeling like an uncomfortable feeling, kind of sit in that and then react. I think this person reacts very fast, and so they're like, well, you know what, it's just, well, we're not seeing eye to eye, I'm just gonna go, and they go, you know. And I feel like this person B is very quick with that. I feel like they're very quick to cut people off. I think they're very quick to cut situations off, especially if it's not aligning to their future, or it's not aligning to what they want in their life. They're very quick to cut it off. And I feel like this is something that hopefully they might be working on, or that they will work on in the future, because I feel like they could have given person A a chance to explain themselves, or person A to just kind of feel their emotions too, and like you both just kind of sitting down and be like, okay, what can we do in this situation? But I feel like person B ultimately made the decision to leave the situation, because maybe it could have been fear, like it was too scary to just stay in something uncertain. And that's why the energy between you two is very uncertain, because I feel like there was more under the surface. Like maybe you both wanted to say something but you didn't. Maybe you bit your tongue. It was very much like, you know what song's coming up? Bad Habit by Steve Lacy. I'll put it in the description down below. I'm just gonna write it down so I don't forget. But I feel like there was like some energy here of like you both wanted to say something more, or you both wanted to explain yourselves more or something, but you didn't, because I think a lot of things were just happening all at once. Let me write it down. Bad Habit by Steve Lacy. And I feel like that's why I keep saying, like, I feel like there's something more, like there was something hidden, and I feel like it was that, like, it was communication. It was wanting to share more about the situation with each other, but you both didn't. And it could be because person B was very drastic and they did it so fast that maybe they didn't give person A a chance to explain themselves. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to shame the hawk for doing this, because I feel like if the hawk knows what they want and person A can't give that to them, I understand. But also I feel like this connection with the 11th house community felt very comfortable for both of you, that it could have been, I'm not saying it could have been saved, but it was like it could have been, you two could have given each other a chance to communicate about this more. But I think person B was very like quick with it, that it kind of didn't let y'all speak with each other, because I feel like there's a lot of comfortability, but there's also still a lot under the surface that you both didn't communicate or both didn't share with each other. Okay, let's go into person A with the deer and the medallion, because the way I want to say it is medallon, but that's not correct, I think. I feel like this deer medallon person, yeah, I think this is very, look, it's very similar to 11th house, like reaching out and like reaching out across the yeah, like that song Human Nature. Is that Human Nature? I think it is Human Nature by Michael Jackson. That song could be significant too, because I feel like what both of you did very human nature things. I'll put it in the description down below if you're interested about that song. But I feel like this person is very, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining outside. But this person is very like spooked. I think they're very spooked and very scared about the situation. They could have been very scared in the situation when you both had this conversation, especially if the hawk was like, hey, like, I want this, like, do you see this in the future, like, do you want this too? Like, that again, the hawk person is very straightforward, and I think that kind of scares person A. And like, I don't even think it's like a bad scary, it's just like, well, this person is very honest with me, very straightforward. I don't know if I can handle that, you know. Like, I think person A is very like, oh, they're very straightforward. They're not mean, they're just very straightforward. And I feel like either they never experienced that before, or they're just kind of like spooked that someone can be so straightforward. And I feel like they appreciate the straightforwardness of person B, because I feel like they're very straightforward too. But I think they try to be very more, like, way more calmer and way more kinder, if that makes sense. I'm not saying person B is not kind, it just seems like person A is just like, whoa, like, that's a very straightforward. I don't know, whoa, it's just like very shocking to them. But with the medallon, I feel like person A, okay, I'm hearing a lot of things because I'm very confused about this card. This person is kind of confusing. The medallon is very like, it seems like they're reaching out for something. It could be that they're gonna reach out to person B, but it seems like they're like reaching out for something, and I'm not sure what that is. Like, maybe they have hope for this connection, or they have hope for themselves. They could be very independent right now, because maybe what happened between you two was very like shocking and very different, and it was like maybe they're trying to regulate themselves. I could see this being themselves, like regulating their feelings, regulating how they feel about the situation, because it could be like, especially with the moon here, it could be that it hurt both of you, like the situation hurt both of you, because I feel like person B didn't want to end it, but they know what they want in the future, and then person A didn't want to end it either, and maybe they feel rejected. But I feel like you both feel rejected, but in different ways. But person A, I feel like, is trying to reach this light, and I feel like it could be regulating themselves of some kind. But I kind of want to read what the Medellin is talking about. What number is that? Do you know what number that is? But I'll figure it out. It just takes me a while because I don't know the numbers. Okay, number 59. That's number 59. 226. That's the what's it called? The page number. Okay. I hope you can see that. I hope it's focused. But it says the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. It's so small. When light, upholding tradition, protecting, honoring. When dark, burdensome, inheritance, habitu that. Okay. The passing on a sacred object in an ancient ritual within families, between lovers and tribes across the globe, with gift, jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and okay, if you want to pause and read, you can, but I'm gonna read it in my head because it's easier for me. But yeah. Is person A into crystals? Yeah, I feel like person A could be into like crystals, or like into like, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a rosario. I'm seeing a rosario, and this person could be that religion. I think it's Catholic. They could be Catholic. They don't have to be, but it could be that person B is maybe looking for like a religion outlet, if that makes sense. It could be like this person, because the situation maybe hurt them, or the situation was just so confusing to them, that maybe they're trying to regulate themselves, and to the way they want to regulate themselves is maybe going to church, or praying, or doing things like that, of like trying to calm themselves, because I feel like the situation really did a number on them, you know, without even realizing it. And I feel like again, going back, I think this person's just trying to regulate themselves and regulate the situation. But I kind of want to pull another card, because I'm very confused about this person right here. Sorry, I was like, where is it? It's right here. About this person, and I just want to know a little bit more. I feel like they're not giving me so much, and it could be because this person, maybe you don't know a lot about this person, and maybe that's why it's a little bit confusing. You got the ocean. Yeah, I think it just hurt them. Like, I think the situation really did hurt them. I think it felt like rejection to a certain extent, and rejection hurts, you know, regardless of who it is. Rejection does hurt a lot, and maybe this person's just trying to not think about it as much, but also just stay present in their life, because I think it could be like with the ocean. I wouldn't be surprised if this person had very strong feelings for you, or they have like very, and I don't know if I want to say had or have strong feelings for you, because this person seems very, like, I don't know, like this person just feels very confusing in a way that's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like you could be confused, like this person confused you, or this person just, it could be like they just don't know how to communicate their feelings, or they just might not know how to express their feelings, and that's why it might be they're a little confusing. But it does seem like they're just trying to regulate themselves as much as they can, because I feel like this situation really did hurt them. And I feel like it could be with the ocean, that they're just a very sensitive person as well, so any little rejection would have hurt them regardless. But it's just something that they want to try to control. So yeah, let's get into tarot about what you need to know about this connection. We're using the Pope Girls. Let's see. What do you need to know about this connection? Oh, okay, that was fast. But it fell. It's right here. Eight of Pentacles. What do you need to know about this connection? We got the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. What do you need to know about this connection? Okay, this is what you need to know about connection in general, is that connection takes time and effort, you know, and I feel like they really want you to acknowledge that and to understand that, especially with the Eight of Cups, Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I feel like, and either if you're person A or person B, because the way I see this is like maybe person B was the hawk person could have been like, okay, well, I know I want more than this, so I'm just gonna walk away, and person A maybe let them walk away. Like, it just seems like there's just like way more that wanted to happen between you two, especially going back to 11th and Moon. I feel like there was so much more that wanted to happen here, but it just didn't. And I feel like there's something here about telling you that connection takes effort, regardless if you're person A or person B. Connection takes effort. Connection takes time. Connection takes vulnerability. Connection takes everything and all of the above, right? Especially if you want this Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles type of connection. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes vulnerability. It takes tears. It takes laughter. It takes everything, you know? And I know if you are quick to walk away from it, like if you're quick to walk away from connection, I think the universe is ultimately asking you, is this what you actually want, or do you want something else? You know, if this is what you actually want, you have to understand that sometimes it just takes way more effort than what you are doing, you know? It takes way more effort. It takes way more time. It takes way more, like, you two are a team, you know, and that's what I think they really want you. And this is very interesting, like what you need to know about this connection. I think this is what you need to know about connection in general and relationships, because I feel like they're trying to make you understand that yes, connection is beautiful, but sometimes being in a connection is not easy. You know, it's not easy. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you have to think about the other person. You know, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be thinking about yourself. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's okay to think about the other person and give the other person grace of their situation, even if they reacted really fast, or even if they didn't react at all. Like, even if they did action towards this connection, or in inaction towards this connection, like, you have to give each other grace in a connection, especially if you want this connection to grow, or if you want any of your connections to grow in this beautiful Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles energy. I think you have to understand that even though it's easier to walk away from this, it will feel better if you stay and make it work together, right? And I'm not saying that if this person or the other, like, for example, in your situation, if this person didn't want to make this work or didn't put effort as much as you do, then, you know, like, that's understandable to walk away, because you want to be with someone that's also giving you effort, you know. But I feel like you two didn't give each other a chance to see where this could have gone, or to actually put effort into this connection. So you both just chose to walk away from each other, because that was like the easier way, that was the easier route. And I feel like even though it's easier, doesn't mean that it's right, especially when it comes to connection. I kind of want to clarify this Page of Pentacles. What is this Page of Pentacles about? Queen of Pentacles. I heard, now you made your bed, now lie on it. I feel like you both, this is a very mutual energy. I think you both understand that you didn't do as much as you could in this situation. I think you both understand, or are going to understand, that you both could have done more in this situation, even though it was scary to do, or even if you were scared that to get rejected again, or to get rejected. I think that fear of rejection from both parties here was very high, that it was very hard to go towards something like that, because I feel like you both felt just so rejected by each other for some reason. I think you both felt rejected, and I think that rejection just really controlled the situation. And I think you both let that rejection control the situation. And that's the thing, I'm not trying to like blame you or shame you for the situation. It just seems like rejection was a very prominent thing here, that it kind of made y'all not do anything. And you could have, like, I think you both could have had this like beautiful beginning together, and like calming beginning together, but I feel like that rejection really did a number on both of you. So you both just chose to walk away from each other, which is so interesting, because I feel like you both didn't want to walk away from each other, but I think you both saw that it was easier to do that, so you just chose to do that. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna be nice, and I want to see if there's a future in this connection, but I'm gonna use another deck, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got the Sweet Foragers Tarot. I've been loving this deck recently, like a lot, but I kind of want to ask, even though I feel like maybe this is something you shouldn't know, so I'll see what comes up, but I feel like there's something here about like they really want you to sit in this rejection and sit in your decision. And I'm not saying that they're punishing you, like the universe is punishing you. It's more just like, understand why you did what you did, and understand that sometimes that's not the best way to go about in connection. You know, I feel like they really just want you to sit in it and be like, okay, maybe you should have done, like, think about like what you could have done, you know? Because it seems like you both really wanted this to work, but somehow it just didn't. And that's just a personal thing, whatever happened between you two. But it could be like you both got rejected by each other. So I feel like I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Anyway, let's get into what's the future in this connection. What's the future? If there's a future, if they want to tell me, because sometimes they just want you to really sit in that, and they don't want to say anything because they don't want you to think about it. But what's the energy in the future? Is there something here in the future, or like whatever wants to come out? I don't want to do 3 cards, but we'll see. We got the 7 of Cups. I feel like, yeah, the 7 of Cups makes me feel like you both are thinking about it. I think you both are thinking about like you both are thinking like what could have been, and like what, I feel like you both are genuinely in this energy of like, man, I should have done that, or I could have done that, or maybe I should have gone it this way. You know, I think you're both are very intellectual in that way of like, I could have done that, like I should have done that, or like maybe I should have done this, or I could have done that. You know, I feel like you both are thinking about like coulda, shoulda, woulda, you know, but you didn't. And I think you both are thinking about that in that situation. Nine of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles. So Ten of Pentacles came out twice. At the bottom we have Three of Wands. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate what I'm about to say. I think they want you to not focus on this. And I know that sounds kind of annoying, but I feel like they truly do not want you to focus on it. I think they want you to focus on your income, and I think this is for them too. Like, I think they want you to I think the universe wants both of you to focus on other things, especially with the Seven of Cups. It's like, yeah, y'all think about like what you could have done, and like that's important, you know, for your growth, but also I think they want you to focus on other things, especially if it comes with financial or income or career or any of that sort. I think they both want you to focus on that, because they don't want, I feel like there could have been a situation that you both could have lost yourselves in each other without even realizing it. So I think it's good that you both are thinking about like, man, I could have done that, like what if I did that, would that change this outcome, you know. I think it's okay to think of that, because I feel like you both are understanding that maybe that's maybe I should have gone that way, you know, maybe I should have done it differently. But I think they really want both of you to focus on your independence and focus on your career and focus on your personal growth. And especially when it comes to like materials and stuff, I think they want you to focus on that very thoroughly, because I feel like like the Lovers in reverse, and I don't do reverses that much, but like the Lovers, the Chariot, and the Six of Crystals, I think right now, it's very interesting. And like the Three of Wands, I think right now they don't want you to focus on each other, which is so interesting, because what's the future of this connection is, I don't know. I would be completely honest, and you don't know, this person doesn't know. I think they really just want you to focus on your own future, to see, because the Lovers is here, the Chariot is here, and the Six of Pentacles is here. So these could easily turn like this, you know, they easily could exist. But I think there's also this energy of like, maybe focus on nourishing yourself first, focus on like, worry about yourself right now, think about yourself right now, think about like what this situation taught you, you know. I feel like that's very important here. And I feel like they are very much like, it's not impossible, right? Because like it's reversed, but it's like, it's not impossible, but it is something that you shouldn't be thinking about right now, you know. And I think that's why it was very like that, you know. Like, look, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Crystals. So Queen of Pentacles, it's very much focus on yourself, focus on your income, focus on your career, focus on everything that you're doing to improve your own life first, and then we'll see what happens, right? Because anything is possible here, right? Anything is possible, anything could happen here, but you both really have to like balance your own career, balance your own life first, before really going deep into that. Because I feel like this connection might make you realize that, oh wait, maybe I'm not ready for a relationship, or maybe I'm not ready for something more committed, you know. Like, maybe I'm not ready to put all my eggs in one basket, or I'm not ready to really connect with someone in a deeper level if this is how I'm reacting to this situation, or if this is how I am during the situation, you know. I feel like this triggers something in you that maybe you're realizing like, oh, maybe I should like really focus on myself right now, because there's something here that still needs to be worked on before I get into a connection or relationship or get into something more deeper, because I don't, like, I really want this 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles type of connection, but I can't have that if I don't focus on myself and heal myself and understand myself when it comes to these situations, you know? And of course, like, you have to learn to give yourself grace in this situation, because it is kind of scary, but I think that's what they really want you to focus on, your own personal growth, and learn to live in that before thinking about this person or this connection. You know, like, talk to yourself about what you learned here and what you could do differently, right? Because I feel like you both are in this energy of like, damn, like, maybe I should have done something different, or I could have done this, but you both are not taking action towards it, because I feel like you both are just thinking about it. But it could happen. It's just, you know, it's just right now, just think about what you could have done, or what you could have done differently in the situation. Okay, let's get some advice for you using the Monology deck. And at the bottom we have the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. And then we also got full moon in Virgo. So a lot of full moons could be significant. Full moon in Virgo and full moon in Gemini. This is going to be Pisces season. And then full moon in Gemini will be Sagittarius season. So those seasons could be significant. Or Gemini and Virgo could be significant. Oh, a lot of mutable energy. So mutable energy could be significant here. Maybe you both are mutable energy or not. I mean, it just seems like you both are just in that vibe. Anyway, you are good enough. The answers you need are coming. And this is very interesting that this came out, because we asked, like, what is the future of this connection? You might get that answer eventually, right? But right now, as you're watching this, it seems like they're not trying to give you every answer, because they really just want you to focus on yourself and focus on your healing and focus on bettering yourself, especially when it comes to connection. And that's why I'm saying, like, once you do that, like, either because you're journaling or sitting with yourself and, like, understanding yourself, like, why you did what you did, and, like, all that, like, just trying your best to do that, I feel like that's when you might see answers coming your way of, like, oh, maybe we can work this out, or maybe we can come back together, or maybe we won't. I don't know. You will get the answers that you need in this situation, especially, like, maybe in Sagittarius season, you might actually get, like, a answer, or you might feel actually something different in the energy between you two, or this energy between you and yourself, or something like that. You might feel like a shift, or you might feel something. So because you're healing, or you're understanding yourself more and more, because when I'm filming this, it's Gemini season, so it's very interesting, like, Gemini season, and we just had a new moon in Gemini. So in Sagittarius, we're gonna have a full moon in Gemini. So it's very interesting, because that's how the moon cycles are, right? This new moon in Gemini, it could be that maybe you are like, it doesn't have to be the new moon, but, like, in new moons you start something new, right? You start something different and new, and the full moon is kind of like completing that cycle, right? I think I could be wrong, I don't know, but, like, the full moon could be completing that cycle. So Sagittarius season could be very significant for you, because especially when there's a full moon in Gemini, because you might actually feel like you might understand yourself so much deeply and so much more, that you will get answers about this connection that you were looking for. You're gonna find answers, you're gonna get answers from this connection, especially if you've been wondering, like, are we gonna connect again? You might get an answer on the full moon, or in the energy of Sagittarius, right? It doesn't, like, I feel like, but during that time could be very significant for you. And then full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. I feel like it is scary to be in a connection that's very calming and it feels good, you know? And I feel like you tend to, like again, like, you tend to walk away or run away from connection, especially if it's scary. But I feel like this is like one of the lessons you might have to learn, is that you are good enough in a relationship. You are good enough to be with somebody. You are good enough to pursue a connection with somebody, you know. And I feel like that was a part of the situation about why this didn't work out, is that it could have been like insecurities. And I feel like you really have to focus on your own insecurities to be okay connecting with someone authentically, and connecting with someone and creating this 10 of cups and this 10 of pentacles type of energy, especially if that's what you want and desire. So yeah, I think this is going to be the lesson that you're going to be learning throughout this time. And then you're just gonna, while you're learning yourself, like learning about yourself, about the situation, about you are good enough and believing that you're good enough, I think that's when you're gonna get answers regarding the situation. So yeah, I think that's the energy here. So thank you so much for watching. I think I'm gonna end that there. Hopefully I'll see you somewhere, like not somewhere, hopefully I see you another time. Let's hope I become consistent. Anyway, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one, hopefully. Bye. Hi pile 2, if you chose this card that says she gathered me, man, the pieces I am, she gathered them and give them back to me in all the right order. Toni Morrison, Beloved. I'm assuming that's a movie or a show, I'm not sure though. Okay, if you chose this blue card, this reading is for you. So before I get into it, I do want to explain that I am gonna shuffle on camera. I usually don't because it just saves time, but I've noticed that when I'm shuffling, it's better for me to read the cards, and like it helps me more. So let's see how that goes. It might be longer, but here we are. You can always fast forward though if you don't want to see this part, but so yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna use these decks. Kind of want to do this first, and then we're okay. My bad. The format's gonna be person A, person B, and then the energy between you two. Okay. Okay. Person A. What's the energy of person A? Thank you. What's the energy for person B? The energy for person B. Can we just get one, please? The energy of person B. Okay. So at the bottom we have the worry. Ooh. Oh, the lover. I love that card. Anyway, the warrior. What's the energy for person A? Thank you. What's the energy of person B? What's the energy of person B? Thank you. At the bottom we have cheetah. And then the energy between you two. The energy between you two. What's the energy between you two? Okay, thank you. I did want 2 cards for this one, so. At the bottom we have Mercury, messages. Okay, I'm gonna keep that there. Okay. Let's start with person A. So we have Alethea and Black Egg. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. Person A is very intuitive and very, like, I heard psychic. They could be a psychic. They could be somebody that taps into that. I feel like person A really trusts their intuition, well, at least tries to. You know, because I feel like with the Alethea here, sometimes sometimes it's very hard for them to trust themselves in situations, and especially when it comes to their intuition. But I feel like their intuition will never tell them anything wrong, if that makes sense. I feel like they are very intuitive in a way that's like they can really tap into that and get the answers that they want, you know, or like get anything that they want when it comes to that. Like if they're looking for answers, or if they feel a certain way, their intuition will always be there to remind them that, hey, like this is what's happening, or like this is what it's about, or this and that, right? I feel like their intuition is very much like there to what I'm thinking about is that like their intuition is like a cheerleader, like their own little cheerleader, if that makes sense. Their intuition is very like I'm here if you need to talk, like I'm here if there's something that you want to talk about, you know, like I'm here. Like their intuition is something or someone, or like their intuition is something that they can trust and believe, you know. And I feel like it took them a while to get there. I feel like person A, like it took them a while to get there, but I think now that they're very close to like truly trusting themselves and their gut feeling and everything around them, I think they're learning to be a voice, if that makes sense, or use their voice for themselves, like use their voice to communicate how they feel, communicate what they feel and what they know, if that makes sense. I feel like this person, even though they might have trouble really believing themselves, or believing their intuition, or believing their gut feeling, I think they're trying so hard to believe that everything they feel is right, and everything that they feel and know is correct. Because I feel like, and like as a human, right, like human experience will always dictate how you trust yourself, you know. And I feel like this person is trying to live though in a way that's understanding for themselves, but also in a way, how do I explain this? Like I feel like person A is trying to live in their truth and trying to live in what they believe in, even though what they believe in might not make sense to a lot of people, you know. I feel like even though deep down this is like what they feel, this is their gut feeling, I feel like some people might not understand why or how they got there. You know, like the way I'm thinking about is like maybe deep down they know that they, like, for example, like let's say person A deep down knows that they are a performer or something. You know, like they want to pursue music. Deep down they know that, even though it is scary, but deep down they know they're a musician. But the people around them is like, whoa, it's very hard to be in that job, like, you know. It's like all these voices around them like makes them not trust themselves. But I think deep down they're trying so hard to believe themselves and believe their intuition, believe what they are here to do, and they're trying not to get manipulated by other people in a way that's like thinking that whatever they say is correct, when in reality whatever they feel and what they know is correct, if that makes sense. And I feel like they're trying so hard to communicate that and communicate that with themselves, that even though it might not make sense why they do what they do, it makes sense to them. And I think they're trying to stay in that energy of like, it makes sense to me, that's enough for me, you know, not caring what other people think about their own personal situations. Especially maybe when it comes to this connection, I feel like they don't want people to put their opinions or think a certain way about this connection. because I feel like deep down they think that this, or they know that this connection is important and that this connection is meant to be in their life. So let's get into person B. We got the Flame and the Lion. Ooh, okay, orange. The Lion person, this is very cute energy in my opinion, because the Lion Flame person, it seems like, you know what this flame is reminding me of? The movie Elemental, the Disney movie Elemental. That movie could be significant. You could relate to somebody there. But it seems like this Lion person is very sure about themselves. I feel like they're very sure about what they want and very sure about who they are, especially when it comes to this connection. I feel like they're very sure about person A. They're very sure about what they want in this connection, and I feel like this could be a new connection, or like a connection that's been very good lately. Like there's like nothing wrong in this connection, and I think it's very positive energy. I feel like the Lion person is seeing that as well. I think you both see that, but I think person B specifically is very like happy in this connection, very sure about themselves in this connection. I feel like person B could have been in situations that they become very anxious or very like uncertain, or very like how do I say it? like insecure even. But with this connection, it seems like they feel very comfortable and very that they can be themselves, and they can be authentic. And it could be because person A is like showing them like, hey, that's okay, like you can be yourself, you know. Person A is giving them that space to be themselves, because I feel like the Lion person could have had situations in the past that they couldn't be themselves, and because maybe they were shamed for that, or shamed for things that they like, or shamed in just situations. And I feel like in this connection, I think they're being taught that it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to be authentic. It is still, I feel like for the Lion person, it's still kind of scary, because I see that the Lion is kind of facing this way, and I feel like the Lion, it is kind of scary, but they're still, you know, they're not trying to run away or anything. They're just understanding that it's okay to be yourself and it's okay to be authentic in this connection. Yeah, it's okay to show your flame, to like turn on this flame in this connection. Okay, let's get into the energy between you two. So we have ascendant, entrance, and we have imun koili, root. Yeah, for some of you, this could be a newer connection, or a connection that maybe came back around for some of you, because with the root and entrance, I feel like there could have been some roots already established in this connection, and it's just like it came back around. Especially with Mercury here with messages, I feel like you two, it could have been that this connection came back around, or it could be somebody new that you're just getting to know right now, or like, but for some of you, I feel like you've either known each other for a while now and came back together, or you've been together for like a while now, that you two are kind of like you're locked in with each other. You know what I mean? Like you are like, this is my person, this is the person I want to spend my time with, like this is the person I want to spend my life with, for some of you, or like just I want to spend more time with this person, I really like this person, you know. But for some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if this is somebody like that came back into your life, and that's why maybe you're thinking about this reading, because you're like, I don't know if like I should trust this or not. But it does seem like this person, and for person A, I don't know, there's just something came up that person A wants to share their knowledge with people. I feel like person A is also very like I feel like they might want to share their knowledge with person B, and person B wants to share their knowledge with them. Like, I feel like you both are very authentic in your own way, and I feel like person A is like willing to share what they learn during this time, or especially if you two did come back together, like there was like a separation, like maybe person A is willing to share the knowledge that they've learned during the separation with person B, and person B is here to listen, you know? Like, I think there's a lot that you two learned before coming back together, and I think person B, to me, I feel like person, especially if this is somebody that came back into your, I'll get into like if this is just a newer person in your life, but if this person came back into your life, I feel like person B is understanding that this flame that they had for person A never left. I feel like they were always hoping that this flame would come back, you know, that like this flame always lit. Like, it doesn't matter how much water you put on it or how much you tried to deflame it, I guess, or like take the flame out or like blow on it or whatever. I think the lion knows that this is somebody that they wanted to spend more time with. I think this is somebody that they wanted to create this type of connection with. I think this flame was always there for this person, for this lion person, and I think this lion person doesn't shame themselves for that. I feel like in the beginning, especially if the separation did happen, like if there was like a separation here, I feel like in the beginning they shame themselves for liking person A or for wanting to be with person A, or, you know, whatever it is. I feel like they shame themselves, but now I think they live in their truth, and their truth is that they always truly wanted to be with person A, or had this connection with person A that was very important to them, and I think they're not afraid to be in that energy. I feel like both of you learned a lot from the separation, and that's why coming back together is so much better than ever. And for the people that this is a newer connection, I think this lion person has like this very strong attraction towards you, an attraction to want to get to know you more and wanting to be in a very positive energy. And I think person A feels the same way. And I feel like even though it is, I feel like person A still is a little, like, has a little fear regarding this. I think person B is kind of in this very calming energy of like, look, this is what I want, this is what I like you, I want this to work out. And, you know, like, I feel like this person B is very sure about person A. And I'm not saying person A is not sure about person B, it's just person A seems a little scared of this like really good energy, that it's so calming and so well that it's kind of scary for them. But I think overall, I think person B and person A really want this to work out. I feel like they have a lot of hope for this to work out, and I feel like you both are understanding that even though, like, for some of you, if there was a separation, even though there was a separation here, it was kind of needed. And if there wasn't a separation, it was like what you both learned outside of this connection was very important before coming into the connection. I think you both learned a lot before coming together, if that makes sense. You both learned a lot about each other. You both learned that healing yourself and understanding yourself is very important to create a connection that's long lasting and important for both of you. To like, and for some of you, like, again, like, it's important to understand yourselves to create, to like put down roots, if that makes sense, to put down roots and let this grow, you know. So yeah, let's get into tarot about what you need to know about this connection. Let's see. What do you need to know about this connection? Four of Pentacles. You know what? I'm gonna keep it. I feel like I should keep it reversed. I don't know. I just feel it. The King of Swords, because I have with the Four of Pentacles, especially in reverse. I feel like you both are understanding that if this connection has to work, we have to open up. You know, we have to open up. We have to share our feelings. We have to share about how we feel about this connection, about how we feel about each other. I think you both are understanding that. And I feel like maybe if it is too early to like confess how you feel or confess that you want something more here, a little too early. I mean, time is fake, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you feel like it's a little too early to bring that conversation up, or if they feel it's too early to have that conversation, I'm not saying that go do it tomorrow or do it right after this video. What I'm saying is, like, you both have to be comfortable with these like uncomfortable conversations. And like, I mean uncomfortable because sometimes talking about how you feel about each other is uncomfortable. Like, you don't know how to do that. But I feel like for a lot of you, I think you both are needing to understand that you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, you know. And the uncomfortable is sharing about how you feel, sharing about your feelings, sharing about your experiences, sharing that you feel this certain way towards each other. And I feel like even though that is uncomfortable, it's very much needed. Let me get more. Seven of Wands. Yeah, again, I do want to clarify that you don't have to do this right away. You know, sometimes you can sit in this connection for a while, get to know this person more, and like really be happy in this moment of getting to know them and this energy. You know, I'm not saying do it right now. All I'm saying is that I think there is a need to acknowledge, or there maybe there's a want to acknowledge each other's feelings, you know. And I feel like to a certain extent the Lion is a little bit more closed off, if that makes sense. It's weird because the Lion is sure about how they feel and sure about like that they want this to happen, but I feel like the Lion looking this way and very like stoic, I feel like the Lion is a little bit more like, just a little bit more like they want to take things slow and they don't want to rush anything, you know. Even with the flame here, like, it's a flame, it's a little flame, right? And I feel like they want to put, like, they want to have momentum in this connection, but they don't want to do it too fast, especially with, like, if you see the cheetah here, like, I feel like they don't want to take it too fast that it gets ruined. I think they just want to take it slow, but also they want, I feel like this is something they might want you to know, or they want to, like, I feel like they're not afraid to share how they feel about you. It's more just like, let's just, you know, go with the flow, take things slow, you know. It's just, I feel like the Lion's a little bit more stoic when it comes to this connection. Yeah, with the Fool here, especially with the Fool at the bottom, we have Five of Swords. I feel like with this Fool energy, I feel like like, what you need to know is that this connection is a great new beginning. You know, this is very important and like very important to you, important to this person. I think you both are having hope for this leap of faith that you two created. It does take time to get to a more vulnerable spot, if that makes sense. I think you both are trying to create this more vulnerable side of this connection, and I feel like you both can create that. It's just right now it seems like you don't have to rush it. And I'm not saying that you, like, having that conversation is going to be very important about what you want in the future, like what do you see in the future. It's very important, but I think right now they want you to just live in the moment and not rush things, because you might rush into like something that you don't want yet. And I think the Lion understands that, like, they don't want to rush it, but also I think person A also doesn't want to rush it. But also I feel like what's very scary in this connection is the unknown. Not knowing is scary, and I feel like you both could be very scared of that, maybe not knowing what could happen next. And because of that, there's like this like urge to rush it, or urge to like have these conversations very fast, like, do you see something here, you know, all this, which is okay. And I feel like these conversations are not no, and I think these conversations are important. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's okay just to live in the moment and see where that goes before turning into more serious, if that makes sense. Not that this connection isn't serious, it just seems like I think they really just want you to have fun with this person, get to know this person, and then choose if you want to have this conversation with this person. I think they just want you to start liking them, start liking this person. And I think vice versa too. I think they want you to get to know each other enough to like each other, and then you can have these conversations. And I'm not saying that you don't like this person, I'm not saying that this person doesn't like you. I feel like there's a lot of like here, but what I'm saying is, like, make sure you really, really like this person before bringing these conversations up, you know, because maybe later you might realize, like, maybe we're not that compatible, or maybe we're like, we don't see eye to eye on that situation, you know. And I feel like they really just want you to get to know this person and then have these difficult conversations or these uncomfortable conversations. Just go with the flow right now, and I think that's what they really, really want both of you to do. And I know it's very scary because this King, Sword, Seven of Wands, you want answers now. You know, you want answers now because it's uncomfortable not knowing. But I promise you, in the long run, you're gonna be very happy that you waited, and you're gonna be very happy that you just went with the flow. Okay, before we leave, I want to get advice for you. What do you need to know? What's some advice for you? We got, don't let your pride get in your way, full moon and Leo. So full moon and Leo, Aquarius season could be significant. And yeah, adjustments are required. What did I say? And then one fell on the ground. So we take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. So I feel like, again, going back to what I said, it's like sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and that's okay. Like sometimes you just have to be okay in that energy, even though it's uncomfortable. But like when you're uncomfortable, sometimes you just have to sit in that. You don't have to control it just because it's uncomfortable, you know. And I feel like you have to really just sit in that energy, sit in the energy of like, okay, I may not know what's next, I may not know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I do know how I feel about this person. But I do know that I really like this person. Something that I do know is that I really like talking to this person, enjoying my time with this person. You know, like, try to be in the situation of, what do I know? Like, what do I know, right? You know that you like this person, you know you like spending time with this person, and this person's like, another thing that you may know is that this person feels the same way, because they either told you already, or because you just feel it. You have this feeling that this is a very mutual connection. But just because you don't know what's gonna happen in a month or two, you know, doesn't mean you have to know. Sometimes not knowing is okay. And that's what adjustments are required is very important here. Take time to breathe out. It's scary, but it's necessary. And adjustments are required. I feel like that means that, yes, maybe this may not be the way that you are in a connection. Like, maybe you're very like straightforward, and you're very like, no, this is what I want. If you can't give that to me, I'm gonna walk away type of energy, or I'm gonna cut this off if you don't give what I want. But I think they're trying to teach you and trying to let you know that, hey, sometimes it's okay not knowing, and you can sit in that, even though it's uncomfortable, but sit in that, because not knowing could lead you to something so precious, and you just have to sit in it. Though, don't let your pride get in your way. Don't let your thoughts and pride of like, well, it should be happening this way, or like it should be happening that way, or this should happen right now. Like, you know, like those things that people say on the internet, like the 3-month rule. Like, in 3 months, if you're not asking me to be your girlfriend, like, I'm over. Things like don't believe that. Like, don't do that. Don't. If you wanted to, he would. Like, no, please don't do that to yourself, because I think you're not letting yourself be in a very authentic connection if you think that way. I'm not saying that it's bad. All I'm saying is, like, sometimes the unknown could lead you to something so great, because you don't know what's next. And I know that's scary, but it can lead you to something so great. And that could, like, that's the thing, like, anything can happen here. I'm not saying that it's gonna be like rainbows, sunshine, and rainbows, right? All I'm saying is that sometimes not knowing is okay, and not knowing could lead to something so great that you haven't even imagined could happen, you know? Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this resonated. Let me know if it did, or if it didn't. Just be nice to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next, hopefully. Bye. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this card that says, you kiss me with your kiss, you kiss me with your kiss, my life begins. Your spring to me, all things to me, don't you know your life itself? Nina Simone, wild is the wind. I think that's a song. I'm not completely sure, but it's very pretty. Okay, so before we get into tarot and everything, I want to explain the situation. So I'm going to do a person A, person B format, and the energy between you two. So I will be shuffling on camera. I usually pre-shuffle before, like, so it can like be faster, but I've learned that I read better with while I'm shuffling, like in the moment. So we'll see. It might be a longer reading, but I think it's gonna be very important. So anyway, pile 3. What's the energy of person A? Energy of person A. Energy of person A. Thank you. Energy of person B. Thank you. At the bottom we have dolphin. Energy of person A. Energy of person A. We got the mirror. Energy of person B. Ooh, I'll take both. At the bottom we have the lover. This is such a cute card. I love this card. I think it's so precious. Okay. And then the energy between you two. The energy between you two. 11th house community. And then can I get another card about the energy between you two, between A and B, person A and B. Aquarius, collaborate. Oh, okay, very heavy on Aquarius with the 11th house and Aquarius, because 11, like that's very Aquarius energy. And at the bottom we have trine, sextile, symbiosis. Is that how you say it? Girl. Okay. Let's start with, I kind of want to start with the energy between you two with the Aquarius in 11th house. Now I do want to think that you two could be friends right now, or you two are like have that sort of connection, that you two have this friendship, you know, like y'all have this how do I say, like this there's a specific word I'm looking for, like you have this stable friendship. And I feel like, again, this came out I think on the first pile, so for the first pile could be significant, you could resonate somewhat in that pile. But I do want to emphasize that maybe you met this person online, especially with Aquarius. It's very heavy, like with technology. Some sort of technology could be significant here. It could be that you met this person online, or maybe you've known each other for a while online, and like you two are like maybe thinking of getting to know each other in person, and collaborate. I think you two are trying to connect in a very like logical way, if that makes sense. You two are trying to be in a situation that you two could connect very authentically, especially in person. Like, for some of you, I feel like this is a type of connection that maybe you two been talking a lot online. Like, you two talk a lot online, but you haven't met each other in person. Maybe there's like this like lingering feeling of like you want to do that, but also it seems like you both are very comfortable talking to each other online. For some of you, that could also be like maybe you two are just friends and you two are comfortable in that, like you two would rather just stay friends right now. But with this "you kiss me," I feel like it could be that you two already kind of, how do I say it? Like you two maybe crossed that line already, like, or you two already like showed each other that you like each other more than friends, or you shown each other that you like each other more than just texting every day or like being online. It seems like you two already kind of, especially with the lover here as well, I feel like you two already shown each other somehow that you two are into each other, and that's kind of leading towards something that it's like you both want to collaborate to see if that's leading towards something more. I feel like getting into person A, this hummingbird mirror person, I feel like they're very like, they're easily mirroring other people naturally. I feel like they mirror other people. You know, I never understood this saying, but you know how people say, well, like, if you don't like me, it just means that you don't like yourself because I mirror you. I never understood that. Truly. Like, I never truly understood that. Maybe because I don't mirror people. Like, I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. I never understood that, but I feel like this person could understand what I'm saying. Of like, if you don't like me, it's just you don't like yourself because I'm mirroring what you're doing, or I'm mirroring how you're reacting to me, or how you're acting. And I feel like this hummingbird person has they have the tendency to just do whatever person B is doing, not in like a bad way, but more like they are very reciprocating. Like they reciprocate person's B energy. And I feel like this hummingbird is like, they're very much going with the flow as well. And I feel like this person A could be one of the could be like a mirror to person B, sort of like person B sort of like person A shows person B a lot of things about themselves, and I think it's very like new and different. And it could be like maybe you two, that's why you two can be very good friends, because you mirror each other, especially person A towards person B. I think person A can mirror person B very well, and I think that's why you become very good friends, because it's like there's just this like type of connection. But also I feel like it could lack authenticity in a way that's like do you actually know who person A is? You know, like, does person A even knows who they are? You know, because I feel like they mirror so much that they kind of lose themselves in that. But it could be like that's who they are, you know, just mirroring people and like being open to connecting with others, but like they become the person that the other person needs in that moment, or that the person wants in that moment. I kind of want to read what the hummingbird has to say, just to like keep that in mind. Hummingbird is air energy, so that's Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Hummingbird. If you want to read it, you can pause and read, but I'm just going to read this part. When in balance, smart, curious, loves to learn. When out of balance, pushy, insistent, sharp. To bring into balance, take a class. I feel like this person, like, I feel like what I said before, like, they like going with the flow and everything, and I feel like they're very positive in a way that's like they are trying to stay positive when it comes to this connection. They're trying to stay as authentic and positive, even though I feel like they sometimes have to like mirror person B's actions, or they have to mirror the situation. Besides that, I feel like this person really just wants to connect with person B, and also just wanting to take their time in this connection and not rush anything, because I feel like they're very optimistic for the future when it comes to this connection, especially if you have this underlying, or like this stability of friendship already that exists. You know, I feel like this friendship that you both have, or like this there's a specific word that I'm looking for. It's the like, it's already established, right? Like, you two are like, this friendship is already established, and because you have that already, it's very easy to move forward together. And that's why I feel like person A is very optimistic about this connection, because you have that established, that friendship established. Now let's get into person B with the Cobra, and we have Apocalypsis. We have the Destroyer. Ooh. Person B is very interesting. Let me move that over here. I feel like person B, yeah, okay, this is what is very interesting. I feel like person B is okay where they are in this connection, like either because that's a friendship, either because it's just online. Maybe you two are just talking online, you haven't met each other, like I said that before, but I feel like person B is okay where they are in this connection, regardless of where it is. Person A, I feel like they're very optimistic, but also I feel like they are just mirroring what person B wants. And it could be that person A could be losing themselves in this situation, even though they're very happy where they are with this person. I feel like they're actually very happy where they are. It just seems like the hummingbird person could be losing themselves in this connection, because maybe they want more than what it is. And person B is comfortable in this. They don't want to change anything. They're comfortable. They don't want anything new to come around. Like, they're okay. It could be that person B is sort of controlling the situation. Like, maybe if person A like suggests like, hey, like, why don't we hang out here, or why don't we do this, or like, why don't we meet up here, I think person B is very quick to like make up excuses, maybe. And it could be that person A is a little confused about person B, because person B like maybe says the right things, but person A is like confused by that. Like, they say the right things, but they don't mean it. Like, maybe they don't take action towards those things. Like, it could be that, you know what this feels like? It could be like you two are friends, right? You two know each other for a while, you two are friends, or like you created this connection with each other, but it's not progressing at all. Like, it's just staying the same for a while now. And I feel like person B could be making these promises to person A, and that's why person A is very optimistic, because person A believes person B. And I'm not saying person B is lying. All I'm saying is that person B makes these promises, but it's very hard to follow through with those promises. And I feel like person A can't do anything about it but to mirror the situation, mirror person B, and to be optimistic, even though they want something more here, because either person B showed them that there's something here more, like maybe person B flirted with person A, or person B like showed interest in person A, but person A is like, okay, well, let's be honest here, like let's do something about this, and person B is like, I'm okay where I'm at. I mean, I'm okay where we're at. Like, why can't we just do this? And person A is very like, okay, let's just keep doing this. But then I think to a certain extent, person A could be losing themselves in this, because I feel like person A wants something more, or they want to continue progressing, and person B is kind of stuck in their ways and stuck in like they want this and that's it. And that could be kind of frustrating for person A, but I feel like person A right now is just mirroring person B and just staying in that energy, even though maybe in the long run it's not the best. But I feel like because for a lot of you this is a friendship, so you've known this person for a while now, or you've created this friendship, this bond with this person, so it's very hard to be mad at this person, or it's very hard to cut this person off because you've known each other for a while now. So I feel like it's very difficult to cut this person off, or like to like put that boundary up, because it's like you don't want to lose them, but also you don't want to do something that you might regret, and that goes with both parties here. Like with the B person, like maybe they don't want to create something deeper because they really care about their friendship with this person or what they have right now, and person A wants to do something further, but maybe they don't suggest it because they don't want to ruin what you have. It's very much that energy, like you both just don't want to ruin your friendship with each other, or like whatever you have with each other, this bond. So I want to ask, what do you need to know about this connection with the tarot? I feel like there's a lot of like and when it comes to this connection, I feel like there's a lot of holes, and I love a lot of like holes in a way that's like, I may not say everything about this connection because you know what's going on in this connection, and I feel like you just have to have your own discernment when it comes to this connection and what you choose to do and what you want to do. But yeah, what do you need to know about this connection? What do you need to know about this connection? High Priestess, 9 of Wands. I think I want to keep that reversed. And I don't do reverses that much, but I'm going to keep that in reversed. Three of Swords. Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest here, okay? Because I care about you and I think you deserve to know this. I feel, especially if you're person A in this situation, you don't have to be, you can be person B. I feel, with the Emperor at the bottom, I feel like this connection is gonna stay like this for a while. I don't think it's gonna change. And with the Three of Swords here, I feel like this is very significant because for both of you, I feel like you both don't want this to change, but maybe there is gonna be like a push to change it regardless of how that is. I feel like you both know there's something here. I think you both know that there's something significant here, but you both have a different mindset on pursuing this connection or progressing this connection. Like for example, person B just wants to stay where they are, with this, like you could be flirting with each other, you could be physical with each other, like they're comfortable where they are. Person A wants something more, right? And I feel like you both are like wanting something different, and that's either gonna make or break this connection. And I feel like it's gonna stay like the way it is for a while, but it might start getting uncomfortable because feelings could be the feelings could be way more involved than usual. And I feel like with the Seven of Cups, I feel like you two are trying to understand that these two options that you created, either this just stays the same for a while, or you two pursue something more, or you two end it. You know, all these options, like, I think you both are trying to weigh your options about the situation. But because a lot of you, this could just be a friendship that turned romantic, and it's very hard to process that because you don't want to ruin the friendship, or you don't want to lose this person, right? And I think it's vice versa. I think you both don't want to lose each other from each other's lives. I think you both care about each other, and you both want each other in each other's lives. It's just, I think now there's this energy of like not seeing eye to eye, and I think like the universe might push both of you to do something about this, either pursuing something more with this person, or choosing to break it off, or choosing just to stay friends. Whatever it looks like for you guys, it seems like you both are gonna be pushed to do something about it somehow, because either you both are gonna be hurt, or you both are gonna be like, okay, this is a lot to deal with, or this is too much, or this is like, we have to talk about this, you know. Maybe there's something here that you both have to talk about, and I feel like it's gonna be that type of energy. And I think you both are gonna realize that, to be honest, I don't know what could happen, right? Anything can happen in the situation. That's gonna be your own personal connection and your own personal situation. But I do feel like you both are going to have a realization sort of okay, what do I want in this connection, or what do I need in this connection? And I feel like it might not be the best experience, because I feel like it might hurt both of you. It might hurt the realizations that you have about this person or about this connection. And I'm not saying that it's gonna end, okay? Like, I'm not saying it's gonna end. All I'm saying is that it could be just very hard to deal with. It could end, I don't know, but I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that it's gonna be very hard to have these conversations with each other, because I feel like the risk of losing losing this person, or losing this connection with this person, could be at play. But I feel like if you two are authentic, anything can happen, you know. But just believe in yourself, believe in the situation. If you want to keep being friends with this person, if you two want to keep being friends or connecting in that way, I feel like do it, you know. But at the end of the day, I feel like you both are going to realize what you both want in this connection, and you might be needing to have that conversation with each other. Okay, so let's get into advice before we leave. Let's get into more shuffle. Okay, let's get some advice for you. Okay, at the bottom we have hold your vision, and we have your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. Okay, yeah, I feel like this connection is very important for you. I think it's going to be very, very important for both of you, this connection. I think you both are going to learn a lot from each other, learn a lot about this connection, learn a lot about yourself about this connection. I feel like you both are going to understand why this connection matters and why this connection is important. Especially you, I feel like you're going to learn so much about yourself. And I think, with the dolphin here as well, I feel like if you have hope for this connection, keep being optimistic, keep having hope, you know. But if it doesn't go the way you planned, or it didn't go the way you planned, that's okay too. You know, it's important to it's important to be in those situations because you learn a lot from them. I feel like you're gonna realize that all this work that you put yourself in is going to be paid off. So Capricorn energy could be significant. Capricorn season could be significant. Fixed moon, full moon in Aries. So Libra season could be significant, or Aries season, or those signs in general. But yeah, I think you're gonna realize that maybe this connection is gonna be very important in that way, and you're gonna see different views of this connection, and I think you're gonna learn so much from this. And the future, I don't know what's gonna happen, and you don't know what's gonna happen, but I think a good energy to be in is just to have hope, and hope for the best for yourself and for this person and for this connection, especially if this is something that you really truly want. So yeah, I hope that resonated. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one, hopefully. Let me know if it resonated, or if it didn't. Just be nice to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next, hopefully. Bye.